Frank Nazar will be a Blackhawk for the next 8 seasons at least. Join us on this CHGO Blackhawks Emergency Podcast. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Emergency Podcast. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Frank Nazar is. He just signed
He sure is.
a 7-year extension for $6.59 million. Waiting for the sound effects to go through. So I'm very, very clear.
It's Kyle Davison cooking something up.
He is cooking.
He's cooking up.
He is cooking. So Frank Nazar locked up for the next 8 seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks. This kind of came out of the blue. I don't think as we were speculating who might get a contract first. We've been waiting and waiting for Wyatt Kaiser.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that yet, but here we are. Frank Nazar, 7-year extension begins after this. Begins next season. $6.59 million. Mario Tirabassi, your initial thoughts?
This could potentially age as one of the best contracts in the NHL.
It could.
I think. I think you look at the dollar amount that when we were talking about a Frank Nazar extension before, it was north of this amount of money that he got, $6.59 million. And we were talking this summer, about these guys need new deals now this summer. Knight, Bedard, Nazar, those are the most notable that need extensions beyond the next season, right? We said for all three of them, it makes no sense to them to sign now, maximize your value. Well, $6.59 million per year to a guy who's 21 years old, only played 53 games in the NHL. Maybe that's a hard deal to pass up. And I think too, we saw with Vlasic's contract, now we see with Nazar's contract, I think we're seeing these kids understanding we're going to do this together.
Yeah.
Don't go out there with the mentality of, I got to get mine, because that's not going to work in what is considered the ultimate team sport in hockey. You need this group to be together, and you need this group to it's not just one guy that's going to do it, including Connor Bedard. It's not just going to be him.
Right.
It's going to be a collective. So I think you're getting an understanding from some of these young guys of, we got to do it together. And with the salary cap going up, everyone's going to get their piece of the pie. Look at what the Panthers have done. A lot of those guys on the deals that they're on or extensions that they have signed this summer were under what people thought that they would have gotten.
Yep.
And you keep that group together the way that they have, they're going to be contending for the next couple of years. Hawks want to mimic that.
Forgive this brief baseball aside, but I just thought about this when you were talking about this, and especially when in reference to the Florida Panthers.
You weren't hanging on every word I said?
I was, but it sparked a thought in my mind.
Yeah.
I was listening to the Cubs game last night, and Pat Hughes and Ron Coomer were talking about, Joey, who's the journeyman pitcher who pitched for the Brewers last night? He's been on like 9 teams. Tanner... it doesn't matter.
Tanner Banks last night? Or who?
It doesn't matter.
Tanner
Whatever.
Janot.
There's some journeyman pitcher that was pitching for the Brewers last night. He's been on like 9 MLB teams. And Pat Hughes asked Ron Coomer, like, when you play for that many teams, like, how do you commit to the team? And he goes, look, when you're at that point in your career, all you want to do is win. All you want to do is be part of a winning team. And I think that guys around the league are looking at what's happening in Florida and saying, wait a minute. Sam Bennett probably could have gotten $10 million somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Aaron Ekblad probably could have gotten more money somewhere else too.
Brad Marchand
could have gotten more money somewhere else too, but they believe in what is happening there. I think that, and this is what what frustrates, I think, the both of us, I don't want to speak for you, but I'll speak for myself. What frustrates us about this narrative that like the Hawks are this dumpster fire and everyone's unhappy and it's a terrible situation and Connor Bedard can't wait to get a foot out the door. I heard our buddies on Whatcast talking about it yesterday. Really good nuanced conversation about Connor Bedard, but this narrative that the Hawks are just this dumpster fire is not accurate. These guys see what is happening here. And you've got a long-term commitment from Alex Vlasic, who could have made a crap ton more money than $4.6 million.
If he waited, yeah.
And Frank Nazar could have made more money if he waited. Frank Nazar has a 65-point season this year, which is not completely out of the question, and then says,
now pay me.
Pay me.
Yeah.
Pay me now. And it's going to be 8.5. No. He loves the vote of confidence that after 55 games, they're ready to say, hey, man, we are ready to commit to you. Mm-hmm. If you're ready to commit to us. And he said, yes, let's get it done. Give me something fair. I'll be here long term to show you that I want to be part of this thing going forward. I want to be a leader is this group. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is I saw that too. We'll not put that on the screen, TJ, but thank you. But anyway,
people are loving this deal.
I triple read that. I looked it up online, and then I decided.
Don't look it up online at work.
I don't think.
People are loving this deal.
Wow.
Emergency pod.
They're cranked up over this deal. Yeah.
Anyway. It's a big vote of confidence. And I will say this, like, while we're very happy with this deal, it is the Hawks betting on Frank Nazar. Mm-hmm, they're looking at him and saying, all right, we believe after 55 NHL games that we know what Frank Nazar is going to be.
Yeah.
We believe he's going to be worth this money and more going forward. And you mentioned it. The value of this deal with the cap going up, I don't know if you have the numbers like completely handy right in front of you.
Yes, I do. Yep.
But this is going to age very, very well.
So this is from Matt Larkin of Daily Faceoff. He says Frank Nazar gets roughly $6.6 million annually. For perspective on how well this deal could age, by the 27-28 season, based on a $113.5 million salary cap, a $6.6 million value on a contract is the same as a $5.14 million contract in the 2024-25 season this past season. So based off of, the mind that we have now, this is in a few years could be looked at as $5.14 million. Like, think about the
pocket change.
Think about the contract that Duncan Keith had for the cup runs. What was it? 5.5 for like 12 years, something like that. Like a ridiculous contract. Now, those there's a reason that those contracts don't exist anymore. But I think you look at how this contract could age, and I'm not saying Frank Nazar is going to be equivalent to Duncan Keith and and all that. But as far as getting some of those key players to be on sweetheart deals, like look at all the teams that have won cups in the last couple of years. There are a lot of times where you'll say player X, player Y, whatever, is a big factor or a key player, and they're like, look at the deal they're on. That deal should be illegal, like all that stuff. I feel like I'm ahead of myself, but I don't feel like it's that far-fetched to say Frank Nazar and this deal in a year or two or three is going to be one of those deals that's like, that deal should be illegal for that player.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I believe, look, I've been watching hockey. I'm Hawk Harrelson. In all of my years, I've been watching hockey for a long time. There's
Frank Nazar, yes.
Yes. I have seen guys have, here's a good example. When we talk about this a lot, because we hope it's real. 2 years ago, the end of the season for Lucas Reichel looked really good. Like, all right, we're starting to see signs. But I think for all of us, the three of us at the time, there was this thought of like, how real was that? How meaningful was that? There is nothing I've seen from the moment Frank Nazar pulled on a Blackhawks sweater that tells me that he is not the dude he showed us he was last year. It's not a fluke. Yeah. It is not because he played, minutes he's not going to get. Like Frank Nazar to me is a player. You saw the impact he made in the Worlds against established NHL competition.
Yeah.
Right? Like Frank Nazar was one of the best players on Team USA.
Led the team in scoring.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't think that there's anything here that scares me about this deal. Now, is he going to pan out to be a 65, 70 point guy? Maybe not. But I think if we're in the 50s,
the Hawks are betting that he's going to be that guy.
I'm very comfortable with this. Like,
yeah.
If you were to tell me today Frank Nazar is going to sign a 7-year extension, give me your prediction on the AAV, I'd be in the 7s or 8s.
Yeah,
I would
have said like 7.5.
Yeah, especially looking at the cap going up and all those sort of things. So I'm very comfortable with this. It is a bet. We have the note from Elliot Friedman that says this is the, let's see if I can find this. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yep.
A couple sources indicating it will be the largest contract ever signed by a forward at his experience, 56 games. Kaprizov's current deal, $5 by $9 million, was signed 55 games in. Nazar will be $7 by $6.59, slightly above $46 million.
Yeah, so the total dollar value, this is the most that a forward with that many games has gotten. I mean, that is honestly, that is a bet I'm willing to make for a guy like Frank Nazar, who I think we've talked about, his personality, his mentality, the skill set he has, the confidence he has in himself, and the way that he plays, where he's playing penalty kill, he's playing, defensively sound and engaged and energetic. He's using his speed, his creativity. He's got a great scoring ability. He gets to the middle of the ice. All of those things that you want your forwards to be, and especially a guy who is under the ideal size, quote unquote. But he doesn't play that way. When we talk about Frank Nazar, it's so funny. You talk about Connor Bedard, you talk about Frank Nazar. When we talk about Frank Nazar, and when people around, we'll say around the Blackhawks sphere and outside the Blackhawks sphere talk about Frank Nazar, do they ever mention his size? I don't think anyone ever mentions Frank Nazar being 5'9", 180 change pounds.
And that is legit. Like
he's
when you
that
walk
big.
past him, he's not a big
He's that
dude.
big. Him and I are the same size. We carry it differently.
Same.
But with Bedard, it's just like, wow, is he ever going to be big enough to succeed in the NHL? It's so crazy to me how that can change. But I think it's because you see the way he plays Nazar, and he goes to center. He knows what is going to make him successful, and he really dives into it. And also, he's a year older than Connor Bedard is, so physical maturity is a little bit different. But it's just, he hits all those benchmarks and what you want to see from a player, especially a player that you're going to invest in a long-term 7-year deal, and the money at 6.5, 6.6 million. I think that is, he hits exactly what you want to see out of a player that you're going to give that money to.
Yeah, I don't think 2 more inches of growth for Frank Nazar is going to be the make or break in his career. It is the most overblown thing in hockey. Is Theo Fleury played an incredible career at 5'6".
Yeah.
Martin St. Louis played is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hall of Fame career. Tiny little guy. Right? Like Cole Caulfield is not having any problems in Montreal. Lane Hudson broke records as a rookie for the Montreal Canadiens.
No, Lane Hudson, not good enough to be on the orientation camp list. No, he's too small.
It is just the laziest thing in the world. Some guys play big, some guys play small, and 2 inches. I know what 2 inches is very well. It's right about this, okay? 2 inches is not going to be the difference between success and failure. It is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Frank Nazar plays like he's 6'6". Eric Daze played like he was 5'6".
Yeah.
The stature doesn't matter. It's the willingness and the engagement.
Yeah, it's how you play the game, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's nail on the head. I think he's the kind of guy, and you talk about, the personality, the kind of way he carries himself down the road. You feel for sure he's going to be a guy that has a presence in the room, if not already, and is going to be a guy that other players gravitate towards and down the road look towards as like, okay, I'm following his lead. He's a guy that I'm going to get behind.
100%. All right, we got to hit the break zone for the first time. This is going to be a full show, by the way. We're going to do a full hour on this emergency pod. This counts as your show today, all right? Stick around. Hit
We
that like button.
we still have to do another hour anyway as well.
We got to record tomorrow's show too. So, which we were actually in the process of doing when this news broke. So,
Yeah.
boy, what a red hot 13 minutes that was.
That was
Man,
the
that was good.
best 13 minutes that won't be used ever again.
We'll put it on the B-sides album when we put it out.
There
All
you go.
We'll talk to you in 2 minutes. Hit the like button right here on CHGO Blackhawks. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose.
That's more than before.
It is. Sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. And we've got the football early payout offer for college and pro. You're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points. Bears win every week, my friend, with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the app, use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. 100% parlay boost. Double your winnings on parlays with Bet365. 100% parlay boost. Download the app and use CHGO365 when you sign up. Breaking news from Bet365. Playoff season is here, and new customers now get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. Must be 21 plus. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only.
Do you want to go to a game? Do you
Sure.
want to go see Frank Nazar and his brand new contract extension at the United Center? Well, check out our friends at Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier to your favorite events. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch or puck drop or tip-off or the overture, whatever it is. They have killer last-minute deals, the view from your seat function, and their low price guarantee. And what's really cool about Game Time is it's not just sports. If you love comedy, if you love theater, if you love music, they can put your butt in a seat for any type of event like that. You can save up to 60% off when buying last minute for all those types of events. They got the zone deal, so you can save even more when you choose a section that has a zone deal. And you let Game Time choose the seats for you. You save more money doing it that way, and their low price guarantee. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference on the same ticket if you find it on a different site. That's how much they care that you get the deal through them. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Again, download the app, use the code CHGO, $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed with Game Time.
All right. Hit that like button for us if you've not done it yet in celebration of Frank Nazar's new 7-year, $6.59 million extension.
We have the exact dollar amount.
Okay, let's hear it.
7 years at 6.599991 AAV.
They have to end the deal with 9-1.
Of course.
For number 91.
Of course. And not $1 more.
That's ridiculous. I love it. That's so dumb.
He's literally $9 per year short of just a clean $6.6 million.
I should have been number 94. Yeah. I could have gotten a free Big Mac. Damn it. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's funny.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
It's time to take the temp, presented by your local trusted experts at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. It's still hot. Today's pretty nice, but it's going to be hot
nice.
again.
It's going to
till like October. You know that's happening.
Yes.
The temp, very hot. Everyone in the chat,
everyone loves
for the
this.
most part, very excited about this Frank Nazar deal.
Okay, so what could you be down on the temperature for?
There's a troll in there that's talking about the size thing, so we're not going to acknowledge that.
He's too small.
But what we are going to do is
troll.
say everyone's very excited about this Frank Nazar deal, as they should be. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. So, yeah, I mean, Shayna Goldman from The Athletic, friend of the show,
Friend
by
of
the
the
way.
program. Yeah.
I still can't figure out her accent. I feel weird asking her, but it fascinates me.
She's in the Northeast region.
All right, maybe that's what.
I think that's what it is.
Okay. I like it. It's just I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Shayna says, gutsy move by the Blackhawks to ascend Nazar long-term this early into his career, but he's already showing signs of being able to play up to that $6 million range, and that should only trend up as he develops. They've got the player value chart here. It says his market value based on what he's done so far is $6.1 million. That's now.
Perfect.
So $6.6 million right there. She says most of his top comps are less than stellar, but it's all based off a super small sample on a very bad team. Clayton Keller is the track the Blackhawks are obviously betting on. And that's not a terrible comp. I don't know if Clayton Keller scored 50, didn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Frank's ever going to score 50.
Oh, 50 goals you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't.
Who am I thinking of?
No, not Clayton Keller.
Somebody scored 50.
Clayton Keller's career high in goals is 37.
Okay.
But he had his last 3 seasons, 37 goals, 86 points, 33 goals, 76 points. Last year with Utah, 30 goals, 90 points.
If Frank Nazar
that is the
good,
hope.
if Frank Nazar is that good, holy cow. I don't think he's that good. I love Frank Nazar. I'm very happy with this deal. I don't think he's going to put up
your 82 game average for Clayton Keller in his career is a 27 goal, 69 nice point season over an 82 game average.
But see that's tough though, because you've got his first seasons where he's like just learning the NHL.
Keller?
Yeah.
65 points, 44, 47, 35 in a shortened season, 63, 86, 76, 90.
But over the last 3, he's basically point per game.
Yeah. At 23, 24, 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
You know, Nazar is about to be 21. Keller's first 2 seasons.
What I'm saying, though, is when Clayton Keller's career is over, his average for 82 will be more than 69 points. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. But do you think over the next 4 seasons, you could be talking about Frank Nazar being a 20-goal, 50-point floor?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Yeah. So I
expect him to be in the 50-point range this year.
Yeah. So I think the hope is that as he goes through this contract, as he hits and gets into his prime is 30-goal potential, 70 to 80-point potential. That is the hope, and that his prime ceiling can be.
Well, and Deadhawk brings up a point too. He says points are important, but he adds the heart this team needs. I think that is an underrated element of Frank Nazar. He is not to mention Taylor Swift for the 3rd time this week.
Cool.
What she called Travis Kelce a human exclamation point. That is like a good way to describe Frank Nazar. He is high energy, high enthusiasm, good vibes in the room. We're in the room every practice, post game, pre game, all those things. Frank Nazar's vibe never changes. And look, he's a competitor. He hates to lose. We actually did see him pissed off after a Notre Dame Michigan game when we went to talk to him. Yeah. And he's like, I really don't want to do this right now. But he did it. And he was pissed because they lost to Notre Dame, as they should have, because screw Michigan. But overall, day to day, Frank Nazar's demeanor is very positive. He is a very thoughtful kid, thinks about what he's saying. When he's asked a question, he actually doesn't just recite whatever he thinks is going to make people happy. He's a thoughtful dude. He is going to wear a letter on his jersey.
I think so.
On this team soon. I don't think it'll be next year, but I think it will be soon.
He's one of those guys that as last year went on and we got into February and March and April towards the end of the season, and the roster dynamic was changing, he was one of the guys that I would go to and be like, he's going to say something good. Like, let's talk with him.
Yeah, he was a go-to.
Were you going to need to hear more from, no offense, Nick Foligno at that time? Are you going to need to hear more from some of the veteran guys? Like, not really. Like, and when you have a young guy that come in and can give you that perspective and give you, and be able to kind of carry himself that way and speak that way, like that's just from a media side of things, like that is actually like really really good to have is someone that can do that. And he carries himself really well. And again, you talk about the identity that this team wants to have. Like, if you could get every guy to play with that kind of self-confidence and that kind of understanding of, what winning hockey is going to be, what it takes, as Jeff Blashill has laid out this summer, like that's what he wants to instill. I feel like Nazar is going to be a guy that gets pointed to in video sessions pretty often this year for this is the way you got to play.
It is contagious. That sort of attitude is contagious. And someone mentioned in the chat that like when he joined the team is when the vibes changed a little bit.
Yeah,
it started to
that
feel,
was the lead up to the Winter Classic, and then the Winter Classic was terrible. But then things shifted, and then the Jones trade, and
I think that attitudes like that can be infectious. And I know it's not exactly the same as coaching in the NHL, but I've coached softball for
that's close
10 years, more than that. And when there is when your leaders are leading and they're vocal and they're verbal, it encourages everyone on the team to act the same way. And these are professionals. Yes. I know it's not the same as high school girls. I get it. But at the same time, if you've got one bad apple and bad leadership, it can drag down the whole thing.
Speaking as a former high school boy that played football, sorry guys if you're listening, I don't think you are, but my junior and senior year, our captains of the football team were not good examples. They were just the popular choices, and they weren't guys that you looked at and you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna respect what you're doing, follow what you're doing. They weren't, and our team didn't have really good leadership, and we just didn't have a really good mentality. Now we also were 12 warm bodies trying to play high school football where you need 11.
Reference the stuff we know, okay?
but it's it translates at all levels. Like, you need to have people that you can believe in when things get challenging. You need to have someone that you can look down the bench at and say, okay, they're not phased. Okay, we're all right. We're going to be okay. And that's what the Dynasty Hawks had, a bunch of those guys that you could look down the bench. And there's Jonathan Toews and Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook and Patrick Kane and Marian Hossa. Are they phased? No, we're going to be fine. So I think Frank Nazar is a guy that can have that kind of effect moving forward here. Now, again, he's still 21. He's still less than a full season into his NHL career. These are pretty lofty things to say about him, but I think the early returns, and clearly by this contract that he's been given, there is a belief there from the people in the organization, and I think, in the fan base as well.
I like this comp from Connor in the chat. TJ Oshie type guys. Can Frank Nazar be TJ Oshie? Career high for Oshie. Top of your head, what do you think it was?
Points?
Yep.
84.
I was going to say 74.
60 points is his career high.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I did not expect.
Is that crazy?
I thought it would have been way higher than that.
A lot of injuries for him, but there it is in 13-14 with St. Louis, 21 goals, 39 assists, 60 points. That's his career high.
But 50 games, 40 games, 40 games. Yeah, he barely played a full season.
What I'm saying, though, more toward, instead of the type of player, which part of it, I think the attitude of TJ Oshie is something that was contagious. You saw the way he was with Team USA.
Yeah.
Another guy who is positive all the time, a guy that his teammates adore him. I think Frank is very similar to that. And Connor continues and said, Oshie always rose to the occasion. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that from Frank. Like, there have been times where he has had a couple games in a row where he wasn't producing the way he has, but the effort never dips. You never see him like, well, he's struggling, so he's not playing at the same level. He's sort of has lost interest in the 200-foot game. Yeah. Not the case with him ever.
There were very few games last season where he didn't have some impact, whether it was on the score sheet, creating space offensively, or making an impact defensively. Very few games where he was, invisible or zeros across the box score.
Yeah, I'm the more I think about this deal, the more I like it. Not that I didn't like it right away, but I think it's going to be, as you said earlier, like it's going to be one of these deals you look back on like, damn, how did they pull that off? How did they get him for that money? And then we talked about this the other day. Like, you got Donato at $4 million for the next 4 years. Even like, I know people are kind of mostly out on Bertuzzi, but $5.5 million for the next 3, 5.4 for Teuvo for the next 2, 4.6 for Vlasic for the next 4. Like, you've got a lot of really friendly deals. So the ones that are now hanging over your head are Connor Bedard, who is RFA after this season, Spencer Knight, same deal,
same as Nazar,
and Wyatt Kaiser, who's not the same as those two. Let's be honest.
He needs
a deal like right now.
Yeah.
So those are the things we're keeping our eye on. We're going to get into those a little bit later in the show as it goes on and see how we can use Frank Nazar's contract as a potential measuring stick for the contracts of these guys. So stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Do us a favor. Please hit that like button. We got a lot of people watching, but not nearly enough likes. We got to get to 91 likes in celebration of Frank Nazar and his
at least
$6.59
99991.
Oh, I'll take those likes too.
Yeah.
We'll take that. A like for every $1 of Frank Nazar.
Is there a niner in there too?
That would be great. Perfect. That would be wonderful. All right, talk to you in 120 seconds here on CHGO Blackhawks. And nobody likes being hot or sweaty or sticky or gross. Summer makes you that way. Is your home's AC up for the challenge? You should know by now. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll take care of you. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. 2024 was Chicago's hottest year on record. Might have been beaten this year. We did not have the 114-degree day like we did last summer, but sustained heat, it's been brutal this year. So here's some things you can take from Four Seasons. Schedule your Schedule your Four Seasons AC tune-up today. Save $50 and enjoy a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. You can save up to $4,000 on new comfort systems with Four Seasons new AC units from $39 a month and AC furnace combos from $57 a month. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. Again, that's FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com. Go take care of their advantage. Go take advantage of their offers.
If you need a new car, check out our friends at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. They're slashing prices on new cars and giving you big savings all month long. You can come in today to shop the new car clearance event and check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you know you'll get a great deal. And with Ray's Price Promise, that lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Visit our partner at their convenient location on Route 12 in Fox Lake and don't miss out on their new car clearance event going on all month long. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
All right. We got 6 likes during that break. Come on, everybody.
We're almost there.
Is the button broken?
Everyone test your like button on YouTube. See that it works.
Sure it's working.
Give it a click. See what happens.
We're getting some regulars in the chat right now. I'm seeing Joshua Sherman come in.
Yeah. I mean, hey, sometimes people, they don't know that we're going on early with the emergency pod, so it's all right. If you showed up late, just hit the like button.
Yeah.
And then reverse back to the start of the show. And
yeah, word to the wise. When there's Blackhawks breaking news, just know Jay and Mario are going to be on probably within 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to be here.
Yes. Just know that now, moving forward.
100%.
Very quickly.
I threw it in the Discord as well. So if you're a Discord member, because you're a diehard, you would have got notified right away.
There you go.
See?
Want to throw this out there. This was a quote from Frank Nazar to The Athletic back in June. This from Mark Lazarus says, I want to play in Chicago for the rest of my life. I think it's a great city and a great team and a greater organization. So if that's an option and that's something to set up, then I'm always willing to look into it and look at things. I've been super grateful and happy with my time in Chicago so far, and I'd love to keep it going. And I want to go back to what you said about, the idea that, the atmosphere in Chicago is bad and negative and everyone wants out and all this stuff. Who says that the most? Is it people who are
no one local, no one with access?
around the team, people who are in Chicago, people who are dug in and see what is happening with the organization? No, it never is. It's people outside the organization. It's a national perspective. It's an out of town perspective, and I think it's wishful thinking. I think it's wishful thinking from people that want Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks to fail because Connor Bedard became a Blackhawk and because the Blackhawks have been mired in off-ice issues for the last number of years. Not excusing that. That is a valid reason to not like an organization, for sure. But when you want to break it down to what is happening on the ice, in the room, in the hockey world of the organization, the guys who are sticking around, Donato taking what would have been less money, Alex Vlasic, Frank Nazar, like these contracts that we're seeing, these guys have the belief there, and the atmosphere of the room is changing with the young guys coming in. I think this season on the ice we're going to finally see some of that first wave of the rebuild come to fruition, play professionally in the NHL, see what they got, and I think we're going to get a season that is going to put the Blackhawks on a map where you're like, it's going to open up eyes, I think. I think you're going to see a lot of positivity come out of this group because of the young players. It may not translate to more wins, more, a playoff race, whatever, but I think it's going to definitely change that narrative of Chicago's a dumpster fire, that everyone hates their time there.
Well, we had a good discussion about this on yesterday's show, and then for me, at least, it carried over a little bit on social media. And here's basically my take, because we were talking about our fans losing faith in Kyle Davidson because that's what the results of the athletic poll were.
Right.
And my contention is the people that are actually paying attention to what's happening here, the people that are in our chat, the people that are diehards, the people that watch every show, maybe they don't participate, whatever, or listen to every show, they know what's happening here in Chicago, and they're extremely positive. The people that feel that this is a dumpster fire, whether they call themselves Hawks fans, whether they're part of the national media, whatever it might be, all they're looking at is standings points. And they're saying, and also Connor Bedard isn't immediately Connor McDavid, so things are bad. Mm-hmm. And he made a frumpy face when he was in the penalty box, so he's unhappy. No, Connor Bedard's a competitor. He wants to be great. I think a lot of some of Connor's problems might be is that he can't let it go. He can't walk away. He can't take a break. Right? That might be his biggest issue, is that he just cannot get away from the game enough to relax and unwind. But there's nothing of anyone who, fans or media, and people want to say we're shilling for the organization. We're always going to hear that. That's fine. But we're in the room every day. And there's very few things that I've seen, and maybe I'm naive, I don't want to speak for you, where I've said, oh boy, this is a bad situation. This room is not good. People in here are unhappy. They can't wait to get out of here.
No.
Guys are hanging around. They're all talking to each other. You've got veterans and kids talking to each other, hanging around. It doesn't seem very cliquey.
No, not really.
I will say, and I don't want to, this is going to sound like I'm pointing this at Seth Jones, so I want to be clear that I'm not. But the vibes of the team changed after the deadline. I think getting Spencer Knight and calling up the young guys to be part of this thing, from, Renzel and Levshov, everybody, that was that glimpse. And I think it energized everyone, young and old, on that team.
Yeah. I don't think you can point to the trade deadline being a turning point and not say that it had something to do with Seth Jones, because I think it did. I think when you have a guy that is of that stature in the room, veteran, highest paid player, number one defenseman, and he says, I want out, as we were just talking about with Nazar and the positive impact he can have on the room, that can have a negative impact. And when you have a guy that other guys are talking to, other guys know he's out the door or wants out the door, that can change the dynamic. And I think Nick Foligno talked about that, and how that kind of atmosphere changes as, the lead up to Seth wanting the trade happened. Then, he made it public. Then it happened. Then the fallout after, new guys come in, young players come in, and it's kind of like, okay, this is what the future is about. That kind of changed the thing. But so the guys that I think you would say had anything kind of hanging over them, Seth Jones is gone. Not to say Pat Maroon or Alec Martinez were negative impacts, but as they got to the end of, as they got post-trade deadline, it was, okay, they're still here. This is now their retirement goodbye tour kind of thing. So that they're just kind of checking down the days and trying to soak up the last of their NHL careers. Not that that's a negative thing, but it is a different dynamic than here comes new guys, young guys, all that stuff. So I do think that as you look forward, there's really no one that I would say has anything that's kind of hanging over them that you'd be like, oh, he may be problematic or anything. The only one I'm going to say, and it's because he is a realist, is Jason Dickinson. And being a realist, and at the end of the year press conference saying, it was a really hard season. We've gone through some really hard years. There is a lot of hope and optimism, but also that's all hypothetical. Well, that's being a realist, and that can be looked at as negative because everything else around you is really happy and positive, but he's not wrong. He's completely right to be like, these guys got to figure out what they are in the NHL before we crown ourselves anything.
That's correct. But I also think there's perspective needed too for Dickinson, because this is a guy who's 30, who is a UFA after next year, and had a great season the year before, kind of out of nowhere, unexpected season, then battled injuries all year, didn't produce offensively like the expectation of what he's frankly paid to do. So I think he was personally frustrated with himself. Mm-hmm. And then I think, he is feeling the vibes of this group is ready to move on from guys like me. I don't think anyone is looking at the 2026-27 Blackhawks roster and penciling in Jason Dickinson or penciling in Nick Foligno or penciling in Connor Murphy. And it doesn't mean that those guys aren't important parts of what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. But to those guys, Sasha Boisvert and Artem Levshinov and Anton Frondell, they don't mean crap to those guys.
Right.
Because they're not going to be here when they're here, say for maybe a couple months, right? Mm-hmm. If they're not traded at the deadline. So I see where he's coming from, but I guarantee you, if there was a 2-year extension announced for Jason Dickinson right now, the quote from Jason Dickinson would be, I'm really excited to be part of this growing core. Right. And I really want to be here when we start seeing these things come to fruition. I'm confident now I will be.
That's what he said when he signed his first extension with the team, was just like, there's something building here and I want to be a part of it. Right. Now, if he's able to be a part of it beyond this season, that would mean that he's been doing really well this year.
Yeah. And I'm not, I'm not trying to bag on Jason Dickinson. I just think that he's a guy, as I said about Nazar, I think Dickinson, maybe more than anybody I've covered as a Hawk, will think about his answer and will tell you how he feels.
Very much
and sometimes it's like, ooh, I did not expect that sort of a comment. So when you're trying to get a real barometer of the Blackhawks locker room, Dickinson's one of the guys you go to. But he's also he's looking at it from a business perspective too. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, the future here is exciting, but if there's too many guys here that are good, I don't have a future here.
Right.
And that's not the greatest thing for me. So,
right. Yeah.
And I think that he'll catch on somewhere. I think Jason Dickinson is a great piece for a playoff team to add at the deadline.
It would be.
But I in his mind, that's uncertainty. Mm-hmm. A guy with a young family and everything going on, like it's. So I think all these for Frank Nazar to be Mr. Positivity all the time, he's 21 years old. He's just became a millionaire. Like, of course he's happy, right? Like he's in the NHL. His dream is fulfilled. So we haven't seen the impact that losing has had on some of the older guys happen to Frank Nazar yet. So there's some context there. And we'll see if this year the Hawks finish 31st, 32nd, 29th, whatever it might be. Is Nazar going to have the same attitude after 82 games that he did after his first full year last year? Probably not. But I just think
not until that extension kicks in.
Yeah, but more important though than just like how he feels, how the vibes are in the room. How is he going to perform on the ice? That's what he's being paid to do. One thing I appreciate about Kyle Davidson is he does not seem to be a sentimental person. Are you going to help the team on the ice? Yes or no?
Right.
Yes. Great. We want you here for a long time. And that's what he's going to do. And I really like the fact that this to me signals a lot more to come. And I think that's kind of where, as we get ready to wrap up the show here with like kind of the final block here, like what does this mean for Spencer Knight? What does it mean for Connor Bedard? And to a lesser extent, what it means for Wyatt Kaiser. Spencer Knight, can you sign him for less than this?
Yeah. No. Hold on. So if we're talking, he's on a $4.5 million contract
right now. Yeah.
Right now. And by the metrics that Matt Larkin threw out there, Nazar's contract last season would have been equivalent to 5.14. So I think if you're paying Spencer Knight for his future production, future role, future potential, like you are for Nazar, like you are for Alex Vlasic, or when you signed him, what you were doing that for, it's probably a touch more than this.
So just for reference, the AFP analytics projection for his next deal is 4 by 5.758650. The Hawks will be 630, so it matches the end of his jersey.
Sure. Yeah.
That's less than Nazar makes. I know, and Larry points out in the chat that goalies typically make less than skaters, which is true, but I think Spencer Knight has more of a sample size built than Frank Nazar does.
Yeah. I would say a little bit. I mean, he's got more time in the NHL, but he hasn't been a starter since until he got to Chicago and got into that role. I think if you look at, Ottinger and Hellebuck are 8.5. Bobrovsky's 10. Sorokin's up there. Shesterkin's high. I think if you went to 7 with Spencer Knight, I wouldn't lose sleep over that. And if it's somewhere below that, if Kyle Davidson somehow comes in with another contract value that is under what people like us expect it to be, wonderful, even better.
All right, so looking at some goalie contracts, the highest one is Carey Price, $10.5 million. Bobrovsky's 10, as you mentioned, Vasilevsky 9.5, Hellebuck 8.5, Sorokin 8.25, Swayman 8.25. Then there's kind of a dip down. John Gibson 6.4.
What should Shesterkin make? I thought he makes 11.
Maybe this is not up to. Oh, there. Well, I think it's current. Didn't he sign an extension? Shesterkin.
Okay, sure.
So this is as of last year. Biddington makes 6. Grubauer makes 5.9. Until this new deal, Shesterkin made 5.6. So I think that's where you're talking. But can Spencer Knight say I need to make more money than Jordan Biddington? Guy won a cup. Yeah, he's a poopy pants, but he's a cup winner, and he was the goalie in the Four Nations.
Shesterkin's 11.5.
Okay, 11.5. So that's the highest deal now in the NHL.
Yeah.
I
think. Well, and when did Binnington sign that? 4 years ago.
Good question.
I think that value is obviously it changes as the salary cap goes up. No, I think if you got Spencer Knight
signed it in 2021-22. So yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
I think if you got Spencer Knight at 7, and maybe he's a guy that they say, let's see how you play a little bit before doing it. Then you might get a better barometer of where he's at and where the organization goes. But I think even now, heading into it, if it was a 4-year, $7 million deal per year or something like that, I would be completely fine with that.
I would take that bet. Larry says, I wait to sign Knight, wait to see how he handles the workload and how he is mentally on this team.
And I think that's fine too. If you want to give him the full season and say, hey, you say you want to play 60 games, let's see how many you play, how you play in it, how you manage the workload. Yeah, absolutely. Give it that time. And if he knocks it out of the park, what's another $1 million to give him? If it's we're looking at 4x7, and then he goes and plays as a starter, plays 50 plus, maybe 60 games, and is the legit guy that we hope and think he's going to be. What's to say? Okay, on the table originally was 4x7, now it's 5x8.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, if he proves it, sure, give him the money.
If he looks like he looked for the vast majority of his time with the Hawks next year as a full-time starter on a team that will have a very young defensive core, and he will be challenged most games, I would imagine. If he still puts up good numbers, trying to go to his stats last year with the Hawks,
I just wrote about it for ALLCITY.
3.18, 896, which is a little bit skewed because it was 15 games, but
15 games with a young team, bad team. Sure, put that all on there, but I think his advanced analytics speak to a better performance than just the traditional counting stats for goalies go. He had a 9.13 save percentage at 5v5 last season with the Hawks. He had his highest save percentage of his career in 5-on-5 high danger chances against it, in again a small sample size with the Hawks, 15 games, but it was a 918 save percentage. So what we saw last year translates to more of the broken down stats of how many times did Spencer Knight make an incredible save to keep the Hawks alive in a game, or to keep them ahead. Like his first game, he saw 43 shots against, and they won.
Yeah,
and he made 41 saves or whatever it was. It was an insane performance, and just kind of set the tone for okay, this is a guy that has that capability. and he has the pedigree. He's had, the opportunity to be in Florida for the last few years, as that organization has had the mentality and the atmosphere of a Stanley Cup team. That's something he can, bring to the table as well in the room, not only on the ice. His skill set. I think there's nothing to me that says Spencer Knight has to really prove all that much. But if the organization wants to give him some time to kind of prove it, fine. I would believe he will meet their challenge.
So I just ran the numbers on Money Puck. I put minimum games played 30, goals saved above expected per 60 minutes. He had 0.188 per 60. That is tied with Jake Ottinger. That is ahead of Sergei Bobrovsky. That is ahead of Jordan Binnington. He's not. He's behind Dustin Wolf, who's ahead of him, right? Mm-hmm. Dustin Wolf, Mackenzie Blackwood, Karl Vejmelka, Phil Gustafsson, Lucas Dostal, Cam Talbot. There's a bunch here.
Some good goalies.
Yeah, Stolarz, damn,
he had a good year.
0.779.
Yeah,
that was a free agent goalie that some people talked about, but they got Laurent Brossoit instead. Let's let it play out. But if they
don't
Stolarz,
bring down this show, Jay. Come on, this is a happy day.
If they get Stolarz, they don't get Knight. And maybe there's no Seth Jones trade made, and everyone's upset.
Yeah.
See? All right, now that we have do you have that exact number?
I have it, yes.
Nazar?
So this is from our friends over at Puckpedia. So it's a 7-year, $6.599991 AAV contract. These are the cap hits for each year individualized. So it's 6.59991 average. It's a 9.1 cap hit next season. 9.1. It's an 8.66 cap hit.
No, not the cap hit's the average of the deal.
Money. This is money.
Paid.
Sorry, this is money.
That's actual
money.
Dollars. Yeah.
Money dollars in year 1 of the deal next year, 9.1 million. Year 2 is 8.66 million. Year 3 is 6.6 million. Years 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be a $5.46 million payout to Frank Nazar. So what you would think would be, this is Frank Nazar at his peak. This is him in the prime of his career, starting that year 3, year 4. You're paying him $5.5 million actual dollars,
and a 20-team no trade clause for years 6 and 7. That's interesting.
Hey,
20 teams.
Yeah, not a full.
I did not know that Kevin Magnuson, son of Keith, was his agent.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. So this means with the 9.1, especially in the first year, and then 9.1 at the end of the total, Connor Bedard, $9.8 million. It's happening.
I mean, honestly.
Would you do that today?
Yeah, 9.8? I would. Yes, I would. I think Connor Bedard's extension will be. Well, I mean, now that we've seen how, again, I feel like every time I put out a number, it comes in lower.
That's great,
right?
Connor Bedard will sign for $4 million.
It'll be $9 million. No. I think it'll be. I think he would get in the tens, because clearly Kyle Davidson is paying for future production, not what did you do. Now let's give you a big extension. It's what can you do? What can you become? That's what he wants to pay these guys for. So I think it'll be 10.
Not to bring it back to the Cubs, but I completely lost my thought. Wow, look at that.
I got a question for you guys.
Contract extension.
We're heading towards the end of the show.
Theo Epstein.
Oh,
yes.
Never pay for past performance. Pay for future performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, and you try and lock them up at the market value.
Yeah.
Now, hoping that they continue to, as Jed Hoyer would say, exceed expectations. My question for you guys before we're getting close to getting out of here is a human element one. You're Frank Nazar right now. The contract slides across the table. You sign it. You're about to make $6.5 million. My question for you is, do you immediately think big or small with your life? Do you immediately think, I'm going to buy the truck, I'm going to buy the house, I'm going to buy the thing? Or do you think small and you're like, I'm going to go to a great dinner, I'm going to go on a vacation? Where does your first instinct drive you towards, the big or the small?
He doesn't have the money yet, because it'll kick in next year.
People in the chat said that he's looking at houses, or he bought a house.
Sure.
Unconfirmed.
Well, okay, he makes $900,000.
He's doing all right.
It's a lot different. It's a lot different. He can outright buy a house. Yes, that's fine.
Can he though in this market?
If it's me, not that ever happens, but if I would do one thing to celebrate the new deal, like I'm going to buy XYZ thing I've always wanted that I said I would get if I ever made money. Mm-hmm. And then the rest I would be a little more conservative with.
Well, is that a Harley?
No, Harley. I'll never make that kind of money. Where I'm like, that's the one-time purchase I must have.
I have nothing against motorcycles, but I think Chicago athletes should stay off of them.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah,
Jay Williams.
I would say stay away from that.
Wait till you're retired. Right off into the sunset.
If I was 21 and just signed a $6+ million contract, I would be so stupid with my money. I would be buying. Just every dinner would be a 4-course meal, appetizer, meal for you, meal for me, dessert for everybody, drinks around the table.
Have you been to Mario's Velcro room yet?
Two grand tabs. All Velcro. Who cares? I'm 21 and I have my whole NHL career ahead of me. I'm always gonna make $6 million a year. That's how I would be thinking about it.
Holly says he's probably buying something for his girlfriend. Honestly, he seems like that kind of guy.
Smart move.
I'm gonna be honest.
Sure.
If I'd have signed a $6 million deal, no more girlfriend.
That Russell Wilson meme of he gets drafted and that poor girlfriend with him at the time.
God.
That was so bad. Oh, that was so bad.
We've got a super chat here,
gentlemen.
We
do. Ovi Kleppbaum says, shout out Jay Zawatsky. We shouted Ovi Kleppbaum out on yesterday's show.
We did.
Ovi always, if you're looking for the optimist about the Hawks' future, it's Ovi Kleppbaum who puts out potential Hawks lineup 2030, and it's all draft picks. I love it.
And
they're headed that way.
And
man.
as we said on last show, Kyle Davidson is building through the draft, and as free agency went last year, building through the draft might be the way you actually have to construct teams now. So you know what? Not the craziest idea. All
right, let's seriously answer Joey's question. CHGO signs you and I to identical $6 million deals.
6.5999.
What's the first thing you're doing?
Deal.
$6 million.
Yeah.
I'm paying off my house. I'm paying off credit cards. I'm paying off student debt loans. Putting some away for my daughter's college. I am upgrading cars with our friends at Ray. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Chevy. You know what? I'll get a Chrysler, a Dodge, a Jeep, a Ram, and a Chevy.
Damn.
One for every season.
Right.
I'll go to Four Seasons to get new plumbing, new electric, new AC, new furnace.
Hey, why did you get some Shady Rays while you're at it too and do it in style?
What a
who else? Who else can we show for?
Man.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of weed from Sunnyside.
Yeah, I'll open my own. I'll be a franchisee for Sunnyside.
You know what would be cool is the Holly just said it here. Pay for your Hawks tickets. You could get a suite.
Pay for Holly's Hawks tickets.
Yeah, sure. Like CHGO lottery raffle.
Holly, I'll buy you a seasonal home in Chicago so you can live here during the season.
We'll buy CHGO diehard Skybox
live
tickets.
With me now.
I didn't say that. No.
No, I would. Can you Here's just based on how the last month of my life's been going. Can I just prepay someone to handle if something goes wrong in my house? You just fix it.
It's called a lawyer.
It's called a landlord.
I want here's $1 million, and you are at my beck and call all the time. No, I would fix everything. My house is old. I would upgrade everything in my house, but I love my house. I love where I live.
Call Bob Vila.
I would just make sure there's no problems anymore. No more water in the basement.
Yeah.
No more drafty windows. That'd be the first thing. Maybe I would just tear down my home and rebuild a new one.
You could
at the same spot. But yeah, you're right. Set up the kid for college. But
would you guys get a place in the city? Would you get a place in the city?
My ultimate sign of success is: do you own a lake house? If you I don't know why. For me, even at the age of 40, what am I? 47. Thank you. To me, that is the ultimate sign of success. Is I own a lake house I can visit every weekend.
Second home to vacation.
I would buy a nice house, nothing huge, a nice house on the lake. Get some jet skis, build it out real nice, like a brick deck.
Which lake?
It doesn't matter.
He won't tell. He'll be rich and he'll be secret lake.
Somewhere in New Buffalo, somewhere in that, maybe a little more. My goal is to retire in Door County.
That's a nice place.
So maybe that's what I would do.
I would go to I'd go up to the Eagle River area in Wisconsin. I have family that lives up there. We used to go camping up there. If I had a summer home that I could go to and just be out there. Yeah, out on the water, out on a boat, jet ski, go to the local dives. That's a good life.
It's a good life.
We had a super chat. From recently.
Scroll up a little bit, Joey.
It's $4.99. Oh, it's on the screen. From Hawkward Slapshot.
Awkward Slapshot.
Joseph, I'm 47.
I got bad eyes too.
Sorry, guys.
In your opinion, which NHL team has the largest and most dedicated out-of-market fan base? Asking as a diehard in Phoenix, go Hawks.
We're going to say Chicago because we know it, but I think any New York, Chicago, East Coast, Boston, because you get the snowbirds. Those people that move to Florida, move to Arizona to escape the winters, they're always going to show up at those games.
I think probably the team that has the most fans outside of the city that the team is located in is, I'm going to say, Montreal.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I think they're like kind of like the Yankees. Like, even you don't have to have a connection to the city to have a connection to the team because of the historical aspect of it. I'll say Montreal.
I like it. All right. We're going to wrap things up. Thanks for joining us for this emergency podcast.
We're done.
There's our timer reminding us we're done with
Bye-bye.
I don't know if anyone could hear that.
Your chicken is ready, Mario.
We'll talk to everybody live.
Hungry.
Wink, wink. Tomorrow at 2, we'll somehow be at Cog Hill, but also live. So join us then. Maybe we'll have some news to react to between now and then. Thanks for being with us. Hit the like button on your way out. This is the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.